into the Premier League at the first time of asking. Something special is being built at the Stadium of Light. Welcome then to Season 2 of the Sunderland RTG on FC24. Before we get started, if you're new around here, drop a sub down below, it helps the channel out so much. But let's not waste any more time. I think there's only one place to realistically start Season 2 of this RTG. And with that, we have completed our first transfer of the season. It just had to be Sekou Mara, didn't it? The French striker making his loan permanent of £15 million. Just a reminder that we did say goodbye to Abdullah Bar, who joined AZ after we agreed a deal for him back in February. And just a quick little update on the departures, then we say goodbye to Mateta, Embleton, Semedo and Johnson, who all left the club. And with that, we have signed our first player, the prodigal son, one of Sunderland's best ever exports. Jordan Henderson is returning to the Stadium of Light. The more I thought about this transfer, the more it just makes sense. Endo's been having a tough time abroad, and it's time for him to come home, back to the Premier League, back to his hometown club. Also, as well, in terms of Ekwa's development, I think this is a positive move for him. Bringing in someone like Calvin Phillips is like a long-term replacement for CDM, whereas Henderson just plugs the gap until Pierre is going to be ready. And I have faith that Ekwa will be a long-term CDM option for us. Next up then, we did bring Amagello back to Sunderland following his incredible loan spell a couple seasons ago. Coming in at 17.5 million, then Amagello actually becomes Sunderland's record transfer fee, but I 100% think he'd be worth it as a long-term option on that right-wing position. And next up, we wanted to add a little bit of physicality to our midfield. We signed Philip Billing from relegated Bournemouth for 11 million. And final bit of business done then, Leif Davis joining the club from Ipswich for 8 million plus Lee Buchanan. I didn't really want to let go of Buchanan after just 6 months, but he didn't really fit into the side the way we were playing, so it made sense to cash out now while he was unhappy. And we got Leif Davis for a bargain considering he was just relegated with Ipswich, but he's a quality player. Final few pieces of business here for the window then, as we say goodbye to Jensen Selt, Nectar Trantis and Luke O'Nine. All three centre-halves were 5th, 6th and 7th choice respectively. And we also signed Yannick Vestergaard to provide some first team cover there on a free transfer. And those transfers also freed up some budget to allow us to send out our scouts again for 9 months to the British Isles. That wraps up our transfer business then. In terms of transfers, obviously we brought in 5 new players and made the loan signing of Mara permanent. I'm really happy with all the transfers we've made across the board. I think we've really improved the team and it's a good chance for us to move forward now. Just a quick look at the loans in this season. We've really slimmed down our loan players, keeping only players who have potential to make it in the first team. In terms of loans, we've loaned out Helge, Mayenda, Elise, Pembele and Mundell to clubs all around Europe for some first team football. And this is how the team is looking as we head into our first games of the season. Clark, Mara and Jella make up the front line. The midfield three of Billing, Henderson and Neil. In defense we have Davis, Ballard, Hellick and Hume and Patterson in goal. Realistically, we shouldn't be afraid of relegation with this side, but let's just jump into games and see how we're performing at the midway point of the season. First game of the new season then, and we are away at Molineux Stadium to face Wolves. And it makes me work now. Billing driving forward. He's got Davis. He's got Mara now. Tries to find Clark. Daniel needs to make that run. He does. Daniel with a chance to make it 1-0. Ah, poor. Wolves now working the corner short into the box. Gonzalez now trying to find something into Van Berg. Great save by the keeper. Need to get this away. Head down. Another great save by Patterson. Half time at the Molineux. 0-0. A pretty cagey first half. Not many chances, but all still to play for. One now from Wolves. Cunha into the box. Kilman gets up. Oh, Davis off the line. Hume clears. It's a corner for Wolves again. Trying to work for me again here. Henderson now trying to find the pass onto his left foot. Try and pass it to Clark. Clark tries to get through to Davis, but it's going to find its way. It's not pretty, but Davis goes for goal. And it's 1-0 to Sunderland in the 71st minute. Sunderland have found the breakthrough. New signing Leif Davis scoring on debut. Ignori for Wolves now has a lot of open space ahead of him as he drives into the box, trying to find the right pass. Great save by Patterson. That's all she wrote at the Molineux. Sunderland pick up a vital away win in the opening game of the season. And Premier League football has officially returned to the Stadium of Light as Sunderland host West Ham in this midweek game. Out of nowhere, West Ham could be through here. Burkhart is just sprinting through on goal. It's 1-on-1 with Patterson. Patterson doesn't want to come out. Easy 1-0 for West Ham. Poor start from us today. I'm not entirely sure what Anthony Patterson was doing and not coming out for the ball. I make a chance here. Dan Neal into the box. Mara with a chance to go for goal. He goes for goal. Great save from Ariola. On Everson and Davis to take it. It's in towards the near post. Clark is going to go for a bicycle kick just wide. Ball into the box and Yannick Vestergaard is the target. Great header. Great save from Ariola. Billing now over to Clark. Clark's got a bit of space to work with on the wing here. Trying to find the right pass. I'm waiting for Billing to make the run. He's not, but Dan Neal driving into the box. Dan Neal goes for goal. And when you want a goal scoring midfielder, you should think of Dan Neal. This Moy is on fire. All of a sudden, West Ham could be through again. They've broken the high press of Sunderland. Burkhart is through again. Once again, Patterson isn't going to come out. He's just going to walk it in. Great defending up from Sunderland. Blocks in. But the rebound falls kindly for West Ham. It's now 2-1 to West Ham. On a side note, if anyone knows how to fix the problem with the goalkeeper not rushing out when you're telling him to, I'd be all ears. And see now West Ham, Orford trying to push into the box. Pepe with a chance for goal. He goes for goal. 3-1 to West Ham. Now having all 3 points wrapped up for the Hammers. Disappointing here from Sunderland. Daniel now driving forward into Lieburn off the bench now. Into towards Adil. Adil with a chance. He goes for goal. Good chip. Lieben tips it in. I think that's onside. It's onside. 3-2. Sunderland have a chance to grab a point now at the end of the game. That's where the match will end. 3-2 to West Ham. A disappointing display from the Black Cats in their first home game, but we'll move on to the next one. Very quick break in the highlights here, but apparently if I change it from fast pace to default, that stops the goalkeeper from getting stuck in the mud. I don't know. I'll find out. Let's try it out. Next up then, it was a trip to Anfield with former Liverpool player Jordan Henderson lining up against his old side for Sunderland. Liverpool now have caught us out at the back. They have the numbers going forward. Salah goes for goal and 1-0 to Liverpool within 7 minutes. Probably the start we expected here, but it's going to be a tough, long afternoon, I think. Clark now is doing really well, and all of a sudden, Mara could be in. It could be 1-1 within the space of moments. Mara goes for goal. Great save from Alisson. Attack here for Liverpool's Mo Salah just going to breeze past down his Cirque, and Cirque is doing well to keep up with him, though. Squares him up, forces him to go inside. McAllister now plays it into Diego Jota. Jota goes for goal. Good save from Patterson. And Neil picks up the ball, gives it inside to Mara. Mara tries to find it over to Philip Billing. That's a good ball. There's one more at Dennis Cirkin. Back to Billing. Billing here goes for goal. Goes for goal. Great save by Alisson. Quite the early goal. It's been a pretty even game here at Anfield, but Liverpool looking to make a difference here. Robertson driving forwards towards the box. Sunderland trying to hold him up. He just walked past one. Diogo Jota goes for goal off the post. Can Sunderland clear? Vestergaard does. Clark now driving forward. It's done really well so far. He's attacking with a lot of purpose here. Clark finds a way through. Goes for goal. It's a weak shot in the end, but it's a good save from Alisson. Van Dijk wins the ball high up the pitch. Liverpool starts the counter-attack now. Jota's got some space to run onto goal. Jota goes for goal. Great save from Patterson. Liverpool now attacking with only 2 minutes left in the game. They're probably just happy to see the clock out, but they might try and get a second here. Jota now diving into the box. Plays it into the middle. Into McAllister, go block, but that might be all she wrote here at Anfield, and a 1-0 win for Liverpool. Tough loss to take that. There was definitely opportunities for us to get back into the game, but we'll move on to the next one. The games aren't about to get any easier as we arrive at the Etihad to face Manchester City away from home. Trying to create something early here. Clark driving forward onto his right foot. Going to find it into Adel. Adel goes for goal. Great save from Edison. Corner here early on. Comes in towards Healy. Gets up. Floats in. Oh, off the line. Can Sunderland follow it in? Oh, it was with the corner in towards Hume. Hume gets up. Great save from Edison, but is going to go in off the bar. And Mara gets a back heel goal. Sunderland take an unlikely lead at the Etihad 1-0. And City driving forward here. Phil Foden into the box. Well dealt with, only as far as De Bruyne, who goes for goal 1-1. That's the difference in class right there. That finish from De Bruyne is next level. Lukaku now breaking down the line for Man City, now trying to come into the box. He plays it back into De Bruyne. To Robertson, who goes for goal. Good save from Patterson. Sunderland now working it well up the pitch, trying to find the right passes. Mara now has a bit of time, gives it inside Daniel. Daniel one-on-one with Edison. Daniel, oh, what a save from the keeper. Oh, now for Sunderland, Henderson to take in towards Mara. Headed away, but only as far as Healy goes for goal. Another great save from Edison. Jello now plays it through to Mara. Mara trying to get the better of the defenders into the box now. Goes for goal off the post. Oh, half time at the Etihad. Never dare to say it. I think we've been the better team. We probably deserve to go into the half time with the lead here, but it is still 1-1. And City pushing forward again now. Forward in the second half now. Forward and pushing forward into De Bruyne, and it's 2-1. And just like that, all that hard work in the first half has gone to waste, and Man City lead 2-1. And there's the final whistle at the Etihad. Man City very lucky, I think, to come away with 3 points here. Sunderland will be disappointed, but can be proud with how they performed today. Stadium of Light return for that man. The former Black Cat Jordan Pickford makes his first appearance against Sunderland since leaving. Chance here for Dan Niels, pick the ball up on the wing, trying to find some space for a cross perhaps. He's going to play it back to Jello. Jello now driving onto his left foot, space for a shot, goes for goal. Great save from Pickford. Philip Billing now trying to turn attacking defence. Dan Neil has the ball, slips it through to Jello. Jello plays it back to Mara. Mara goes for goal. He's found the back of the net. Sunderland lead 1-0 here at home to Everton. Sunderland now trying to turn attack into defence. Adel plays it through to Clark. Clark has the legs here, trying to push down the wing. He's got Mara in the middle of the box, ball into the box. Mara goes for goal. Good save from Pickford. Trey Hume now pushing up for Sunderland. He plays it inside to Ahmed Jello. Jello now plays it into Adel. Adel trying to find space for a shot. He goes for across the goal. It's 2-0 to Sunderland. Sunderland have a firm grasp on all 3 points today. Great goal from Adel there. Corner here for Everton in the last moments of the game. If anything, it'll just be a consolation goal in towards the box. Well defended by Sunderland. That should wrap up all 3 points today for the Black Cats. Final game with the highlights here, and we are at Ellen Road to face Leeds United. A lot of bad blood historically between these two sides, so it should be a good game. Clark now driving with purpose at his former team here. Plays it inside to Mara. Mara tries to find something. He's still got the ball. He's going to go for goal. It's a good shot. It's a good save from Darlow. Ahmed Jello now trying to hold on to the ball. He's going to play it into Henderson. Back into Jello now. Jello trying to find space for a shot perhaps. He might have found it. Jello goes for goal. Good shot. Good goal. Sunderland lead. Sunderland lead 1-0. What a goal from Jello there. Leeds now driving forward. Sadiq is just piled through. Great save from Patterson though. On into the box. Dealt with by Sunderland. Now it's fallen to Gnotto. Anderson. Oh, it snuck its way in. What a horrible goal to concede. Terrible defending there. from us. Now it's Leeds 1, Sunderland 1. Sunderland now driving forward. They've got a chance. There's a good ball into Clark. Clark now chips the keeper. Is he going to find his way in? Oh, cleared off the line by Leeds. In a very even game so far, but now Leeds are attacking with numbers. Sadiq, great defended by Healy, but it's going to fall as far as Aronson. In the box to Ganoto now, 2-1 to Leeds. They've capitalised on some poor defending there from Sunderland. Leeds now driving forward. Gonto's driving into the box, trying to find the right pass. He's going to play it into Aronson. Aronson goes for goal, 3-1 to Leeds. Sunderland now won the ball high up the pitch. The high press has worked. Mara trying to find space for a shot. He's found some space, goes for goal, good save from Darlow. And that's all she wrote at Ellen Road, 3-1 to Leeds. Disappointing result for us there. That was definitely a chance for some points. Let's now get into the midway point of the season and see how things are standing in the Premier League. The midway point of the season then, we are sitting in 11th place, kind of whereabouts we expected to be sitting, I think. Haven't been good enough to push for the top half of the table, nor have we been bad enough to really be in a relegation scrap, so we're kind of just sitting pretty in the middle of the table. And see where the goals, though, we are scoring a lot of goals, but we're also conceding a lot of goals, so just some areas of concern for the window to be aware of. Looking now at the team sheet, all the players are developing nicely. Clark's up to an 83, Mara 77, Jallo up to a 79. Midfield 3 are developing well, and Henderson's holding his rating okay. The back line is still looking as solid as ever as well. Patterson is developing nicely also. The only other concern that we've got though is that Adel has requested a transfer from the club. He's not happy with the amount of game times that he's been getting so far this season. He has been coming off the bench plenty. He's been a player that we've looked to often to come off the bench to make a difference, but I think at this stage in his career he wants a full-time spot. I would like to keep him at the club, but once someone requests a transfer to leave, there isn't really much you can do. We did then negotiate a transfer with West Ham for 12 million, so once he agrees personal terms with them, he will pack his bags and head off to London to join the Hammers. And with that then, he's packed his bags, he's leaving the Academy of Light, he's off to London to join West Ham for 12 million pounds. I think it's a good fee considering what he came into the club for as well. So where does that leave us financially then? We've got 11 million to spend. Now my original thought was to bring in a centre mid on loan, and then I decided that I actually wanted to reinvest the money into the club elsewhere. In terms of a backup centre mid, which is what Adel was, we have Joe Bellingham, who I'm still confident can develop into a first team player, so he'll be taking his spot on the bench moving forward. As for where the money can be invested, I've decided to invest that into the youth academy, and we've brought in 3 new scouts, 1 5-star 5-star and 2 4-star 5-star scouts to bring in the next generation of talent into Sunderland. We will send these scouts out on February 1st so that we can tie in their youth report with the squad academy report as well. We also then reinvested some of the money into bringing in more coaches, 1 in each position. Obviously, these aren't gold-rated coaches, but they will become that familiar with the gig and pressing style the longer they're at the club for. That about leaves us with 2 million. I was still considering then bringing in a loan player, but then I think where we're at now, having that money left just to kind of see out some contracts if we need to will be a good place. In terms of youth squads, we got these 4 players that are developing nicely. Pearson for centre mid, Vogt for the winger, Maxwell also on the wing. He's got incredible potential. And finally, Chris McCormack up front. Now, if you've ever done a career mode, you'll know how rare it is to come across strikers, so I'm hoping he can develop into an ace player. In terms of where we're sending our scouts, then we're sending one to England, of course, but we're also setting up camp in USA and Australia. Often Premier League clubs do this. They'll send out academies to those regions to try and find the next generation of players. That about wraps up the winter update. Let's now jump into some game highlights and see how we're going at the end of our first Premier League season. Let's get into it. Into the games then. Our first game was against Crystal Palace. Just a quick heads up, this is actually going to be post commentary as something messed up with my mic, and I'm after doing this post the fact, which I haven't really done before. But anyway, Crystal Palace came into the box early on and we're trying to stand up Elise. I thought it was a good tackle at first from Vestergaard, but obviously the referee disagreed. Elise stepped up for the penalty to make it 1-0. And when I say this is one of the most boring games of football I've ever played in my life, I'm not exaggerating. It then took to the 77th minute for something to happen in this game. Palace came forward. I just couldn't get the ball off them. I was fatigued at this point because the game was so boring. At least went through 1-on-1 and then made it 1-0 in the 80th minute. There wasn't really much I could do this game. Finally, we had a chance going forward in the 90th minute. Ahmed Diallo was driving at the defense really well. Kept going, waiting for the pass. Found a good pass into Mara. Got a little bit lucky there. Took it around the keeper, put it into the goal. Made it 2-1. I thought, yep, alright, comeback's on. We've got a chance here to get a point. And then kick-off rolled around for Crystal Palace. And then the referee blew the final whistle. And that was it for the first game. Next up then, it was Enzo Maresca's Chelsea who came to the Stadium of Light. And we had the first chance of the game here. Clark playing it into Mara. Mara driving forward, slips into Bellingham, had a rare start today. It was a good shot from him, but a good save from Kepa. Up next then, Chelsea came forward. Jackson diving down the line. He had the pace on Ballard, got into the box. I never know what to do in this situation. They squared it and they scuffed it wide, thankfully. Up next, Chelsea came forward again, trying to find the opener. Eze on the edge of the box, slipped it through to Roberto, and we kind of just a bit of a mess here as he walked into the box. He played it back to Palmer. It was a good save from Patterson in the end. Next up here, we slipped through our way through with Jallo, and Jallo was sprinting through 1-on-1. No options, just waiting for goal. It was an easy save for Kepa in the end. Kept our foot shot on the neck though as Bellingham slipped it through to Jallo. I think I misclicked this, but it was a great finish in the end from Amad Jallo, and we lead Chelsea 1-0 at home, and a great result this would be for us. We kept pushing and pushing here as Clark gave it through to Mara. Mara into Neil. Neil onto Jallo, and Jallo just couldn't quite find the curve and it went wide. Up next here, we kept our pressure on Chelsea, playing it through to Mara. Mara slipped it in just wide of the post. Into the second half then, and the game had started to quiet down though. Chelsea continued to push, and once again into the box. I wasn't really sure what to do. It was some good defending here, but we couldn't get away from us, and Nakuga went for a goal, and it was an easy finish in the end of 1-1. We had the next chance though. It was getting late in the game. We slipped it through to Mara, pulled it back to Jallo, trying to find something. Henderson fancied a crack on the edge of the box. It was a good save by Kepa. Corner though into the box. Clark rises up, and we get the winner in the 91st minute. Clark there gets the goal, and we come away with all 3 points. Next up then, we were away in the Midlands to face Aston Villa away from home in this game. First up, we picked up the ball in midfield. Daniel drove it forward into Mara. Mara one-on-one, and what a start to the game. He's so good at those kind of finishes across the goal. It was a great start to the game here. Aston Villa were quick to respond though, and in trademark poor defending, they can't just walk through our team. Schick walked past, and I'm not entirely sure what Patterson is doing there. He dived far too early, and that is 1-1. Up next then, we came forward, we kept the pressure on Jallo, giving it into Billing. Billing found some space, he went through one-on-one. It was a good save from Martinez in the end. And we were definitely the better team in the first half. Billing driving forward, played it into Mara, tried to find space for a shot, he does, and it was an easy save in the end for Martinez. Up next then, we were coming forward with Clark, trying to find some space, driving at the team, waiting for that run of Billing, just peeling off the defender, and then driving towards goal, onto his left foot for the Chavella for his first goal of this season. A great start here in the first half, and we now lead Aston Villa 2-1. Up next, and Mara plays out wide to Davis. Davis tries a big ball into the box. Mara completely misses it. It goes to Jallo, who goes for goal. It's a weak shot and an easy save for Martinez in the end. And after all these chances, it was guaranteed that Aston Villa were going to have a chance to come forward. Now Diaby coming down into the wing, and his pace really did us no favours. Came into the box. It's another poor performance from Patterson as he levels it up for Aston Villa. We tried to find a response late in the game now, trying to work something. Jallo came on with his left foot. He found more and more space. He came on with his right again, off to his left, went for goal, and an easy save for Martinez. Final chance of the game then would fall to Aston Villa. They were driving down towards our goal, deep into added time. Ramsey going forward, played it back to Diaby, played it into Schick, and a great save from Patterson. Patterson there making up for his earlier error, but then up next we were off to St James's Park for a midweek clash against Newcastle. This fixture would never happen in real life on a midweek, but we'll see how this game goes. And the first chance of the game would fall to us once again, going down to Clark on the wing, cutting inside as he always does, and he's so good at this. It was an easy save in the end for Pope. Next chance didn't go until the second half. It was a pretty boring game though. Jallo cut inside onto his left, tried to find an option. Gave it to Hume. Hume now tries to work it in the box. Gave it to Mara. Mara cut it back to Billing. It was a great save on Pope. And we kept the pressure on moving forward into the second half. Hume put it in Dan Neil. Dan Neil, the great back heel to Mara. Mara goes for goal, and he's been so reliant in front of goal this season. He made it 1-0 at the St James's Park to Sunderland. And believe it or not, that was all she wrote at St James's Park. A boring game, but a game that Sunderland will be happy to see 3 points from. Up next, we welcome Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham to the Stadium of Light. And we had the better start then. Jack Clark once again driving down the wing as he always does, onto his right foot. He's tiptoeing around. He's found his way through, and at this point you have to square it, but he goes for goals. An easy save for Vicario in the end. Corner here for Sunderland into the box. Mara gets up off the line, off the post, and Spurs clear. We keep the pressure up here, trying to find Clark again. Clark coming in onto his right, trying to redeem for his earlier mistake. Goes for goal. It's another great save from Vicario. In the second half now, we're still trying to push, and we knew it was going to take something special to find the back of the net, and it falls to Ekwar. What a finish that is from Pierre Ekwar to make it 1-0 to Sunderland. What a goal. And in true Black Cats fashion though, as soon as we scored, we got sloppy at the back. Carrera pushed into the box, squares it to Solomon. Solomon makes it 1-1. Very, very poor defending there from Sunderland. And it goes from bad to worse here as Mazen finds Carrera. We're standing up, we get a tackle in, but it falls to Solomon again. It gives it into Carrera. They link up again, and then once again we're falling behind. And this man, let me tell you, when Pierre Ekwar is on one, he is like a prime Yaya Toure. Look at this strike out of nowhere. He's dug us out twice this game. And it's now 2-2. What a goal. But once again, at the end of the game, we're our own worst enemy here with some sloppy defending. It goes into Mendy into the box. He tries to work something. He pulls it back. It's a good save from Patterson, but it falls to Carrera, and that is where the game will end. Sunderland 2, Tottenham 3. And then into the final game of these highlights here, we were away to bottom of the league, Norwich, trying to pick up all 3 points to secure our own survival here. Norwich would have the strongest start here. Kamara playing into Pereira, and we're always awful in this spot, just trying to hold them off. He plays it on the edge of the box, and Hylack hacks him down there, and it's going to be a penalty to Norwich. I think it was a soft penalty in the end, but Sara steps up for Norwich, and Patterson does deny him with a great save from the spot. We finally had our first chance here, played it into Billing, trying to play it forward here. Billing put it into Mara onto his right foot. It was a good shot. It was an easy enough save for Reyes in the end though. Up next it was Norwich, who were trying to come forward in the second half here. Pereira driving forward and some calamitous defending, and all of a sudden Norwich were in. He sort of squared at Hernandez, and it was an easy goal to give Norwich a 1-0 lead. We really struggled to create anything in this game here. Ekwa came forward, played it into Billing. Billing tried to find a shot, couldn't really find anything, went for goal. It was an easy save for Reyes in the end. Norwich then driving forward towards the end of the game, played it into the box. Kamara chested it down well, a good save and Patterson to keep us in the game. Final chance of the game now is Jallow was driving down the right, he crossed it in the box, he came back to me, played it in now. Neil trying to square it into Mara with a chance and another good save from Reyes. Corner here, last chance of the game. Clark into the box, Billing gets up, off the line, off the post, and Norwich do clear and hold on to the win there. And that'll wrap up the highlights. Let's now jump to the end of the season. Here we are at the end of the season then. Apologies for that section of post commentary over the goals. I usually like to keep a live commentary, but I didn't really have much of a choice after I realized my mic wasn't working after I already recorded the games. Looking at the table now with 37 games played, we are sitting in 13th. I think if you give any newly promoted side at the start of the season a chance to finish 13th, they would snap your hand off, and we've done exactly that. We finished 13th. It was a low scoring Premier League season with the relegated side Brentford going down on a maximum points of 33. We were happy to pick up 41 points in the end, or potentially more if we win our last game against Liverpool. Looking up the table then, it was a big jump from us to Leicester, who were in 10th by about 7 points, so I think that was really achievable this season. In terms of the European spots, they were over 20 points away, so that wasn't really possible for this season either. And here is the final game of the season, and I am just going to quick sim it because our season's pretty much all wrapped up anyway. We actually get an unlikely 2-0 win over Liverpool there, Mara and Ekwa scoring. And with that win against Liverpool, we do actually stay 13th ahead of Brighton, finishing up our first Premier League season then. I think given our extended absence from the Premier League, this kind of finish in our first year back is well accepted. Looking further up the table there, Man City ran away with the league, finishing on 96 points. Top four was rounded out by Spurs, Liverpool and Man United. Aston Villa, Chelsea and Newcastle take the lower European spots. In the FA Cup, we were actually dumped out by Crawley on penalties in a really disappointing result. And looking at the final, it was actually won by Championship side Hull City, so that's a real opportunity lost then. In the Carabao Cup, we went out on penalties to fellow Premier League side Fulham. Liverpool would go on to win that one 2-1 against Aston Villa. A quick check-in at the squad at the end of the season. Again, really happy with all the growth of the players. Jack Clark's up to an 84, Dan Neil up to an 80, Jallo's up to an 80, Mara's up to a 79, Pato's up to a 78, and Ballard's up to a 78. Davis also grew to a 78. Billing didn't move, but I'm pretty happy with where he's at. Trey Hume went up to a 77, Elick went up to a 77, Henderson went down to a 75, Vestergaard also stayed at 75. One of the main talking points for next season though will be CDM, but I think Pierre Ekwa has done enough to show me that him and Henderson can do well in that spot, and Ekwa can be there to take that spot on full time when he's ready. In terms of the lone players, nothing really to shout about. Pembele is doing well, but the only problem is I have Trey Hume in that right back spot at the moment, so he just won't get first team football, so he might have to go out on loan again. In terms of stats, Mara bagged 19 goals in his first season in the Premier League, which is an exceptional return. Gallo and Clark both got 8, Neil got 5, Ekwa and Billing, Lieber and Roberts all got 3. For assists, Clark led the way with 11, followed by Jallo with 8, Neil with 4, Mara with 2, Henderson with 2, and then Pembele for 2, but that was for Brighton. Another thing to note in the squad up is that we did promote our first youth player. Lloyd Pearson came up after he requested to be transferred up to it. Probably look at a loan spell for him for next year. In terms of where our money goes next season, I do think we're going to have to sort out new contracts for a lot of the lads. A lot of the players are still on championship level contracts, and that's just going to hurt their morale. Moving over to the youth academy, obviously since improving our youth scouts, we have got a lot more players in here. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'll kind of address them once they get promoted to the first team, but for now, Duncan Maxwell definitely looks the most promising with an 88 to 94 potential. And this is how the squad is at the very end of the season. Let me know who you think I should be signing going into our second year in the Premier League. I think potentially you might need a new centre back to partner Ballard, but I'll have a look at your comments first. Just a quick preview into next season. These are some of the players that would be available on a free transfer, so let me know who you think we should pick up. We have Daniel Bentley, who'd be a backup goalkeeper. The man, the myth, the legend, Harry Maguire, 32, but he would still do a job at centre half. East Oxford after his stint in Germany could come back to England. Tommy Doyle almost feels like a no-brainer for that midfield. We also could give another chance in England to Donny van der Beek, and then Troy Parrott I think would make sense as a backup striker. But as always, we don't want to sign too many free agents and make it unrealistic, but potentially this is some of the players we can choose from, and then we might just make 1 or 2 marquee signings to the first team. But that is where we will end season 2 then. No doubt not the most exciting season in the world, but a very solid return to life in the Premier League. Once again, thank you for all the love and support on these videos. I really do appreciate it. Considering the channel is less than 2 weeks old, it's been an incredible response. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.